What up? Got a little standard action with the Rally Ascension 3.0. Finally got it built how I want it. Got the new lands, creatures I needed. So I'm taking it for a test run today. That's definitely a keeper. So we're playing against a Mardu Aggro. He's got a good turn 3 Drana. We'll go ahead and Ascendancy. I've already played against Drana with this deck a bunch of times today. And you just sit there and you just... Here, I'll show you in this game what happens. She might get a one hit in on you. Once you get a little bit of the team assembled, it's not so bad. Go ahead and Fleshbag and get us a token. He's in a Crackling Doom. We get a Spirit, we get a trigger. Fleshbag comes in. Most of the time you want to keep your Edict effects in the graveyard. It's not 100% of the time, but most of the time. You know. And since I run the Honored Heirarch for a little bit of mana fixing, I don't really like sending a creature that doesn't have a enter the battlefield ability to the graveyard. Fetch. Play another Zulaport. Play Visionary. He's going to crank up the vents. We'll just chomp, get another Spirit, have something ready for Drana next turn. You can kind of see where this is going. Like, this deck will just sit here and just do this over and over until we just like start outvaluing our opponent. We won't have the mana until next turn. Next turn we'll do the trick of sacrificing your Shambling Vent for a token and a life and a drain. And you have more lands than you really need. We'll chomp. Drain and gain. So tap Vent for mana. Add 2 more mana. Make him a creature. Play Honored Heirarch. More fuel. Play the Husk. As soon as we draw a Rally, he's dead. He just doesn't know it. So we'll sack our Shambling Vent. I love Shambling Vent in this deck for that reason. It's just hard to... I don't know yet if I'd run more than 2. I might try 3 or 4 and cut down on the tri-lands, but... maybe we can still have the fixing we need, I don't know. Here's a Rally. So we'll just kind of sit back and see what he does. We're under no pressure. So he's going to go for the Zulaport. So we don't have an option but to Rally. And it's good. So I always put my Elvish Visionaries on last so I can get the information. So we'll sacrifice, we'll get 2 triggers, get a token. See, and here's the combo in full effect. Just 1 Ascendancy and 2 Cutthroats. Is about to drain him from 20, whatever he was at. Down to nothing. That's game right there. Look at the board state, and I bet he didn't see that coming. Yeah, all it takes is if you can rally back 2 Zulaports and you have an Ascendancy out, and just, you know, like 2 or 3, 4 little chumpy creatures out there, the Ascendancy is going to generate the tokens you need to keep that, you know what I mean? And it only takes 10 triggers, 10 dead creatures. So if you kill 5, you make 5 tokens, that's 20 life right there. Not to mention the 2 off the first Zulaport and the 1 off the last Zulaport, killing them, you know. So the deck's really strong. It has some bad matchups, depending on how you build it. I'm going to put a deck tech up, explaining how to deal with like Anafenza. She's not actually that bad to deal with if you're prepared. And it's really easy to do. And it's also great hate against ramp decks now that are ramping Eldrazi and stuff. The package works out really well. The only deck that I couldn't beat, I don't think ever, was a ramp Villainous Wealth. Like, Villainous Wealth is so good against this deck, because all our stuff is value, so they Villainous Wealth is for 7. They get a Husk and a Haruspex and all these other value creatures, and they start drawing cards and doing all kind of stuff, or they get an Ascendancy on their side. So yeah, it hurts, but I mean, you'll never see that at a tournament, but it's such a fringe card. Anyways, that's Rally Ascension 3.0 BFC Standard.